Something I notice when new players begin the Fear 100 games is that they're really worried about losing a limb. Like when I gifted the games to my bestie, she was so worried about the idea of losing a limb and asked me, "Mama, how can I keep all my limbs? Mama, I don't want to lose my limbs. Mama, tell me how to keep my limbs safe and protected." And I totally understand where she's coming from. We like our limbs, they don't grow back, we don't want to lose them, they're precious resources. The Fear 100 games are already cruel enough, but fuck if we lose our limbs, we're doomed! And this fear is called Apotemnophobia, the fear of limb loss. So like, it got me thinking, I've been playing the Fear 100 games for a while, and I want to talk about how you can overcome this fear of limb loss. Hopefully, after you've watched this video, you'll feel less scared about it. Let's first talk about the consequences of losing your limbs in the games. If you lose one arm, your character will no longer be able to wield two-handed weapons, such as claymores or the trench gun. That does sound bad, right? The best weapons in the games are two-handed. In addition, you cannot equip shields for extra defense. So like, yeah, claymore is like, oh, best weapon! But you can still win fights with one-handed weapons. A lot of them are pretty strong. In my first playthrough of Fear 102, I lost an arm very early on, however I managed to beat the game with just one arm. I found Blacksteel, which is a one-handed weapon, and oh baby, it gave the monsters their old chop. Plus, as great as two-handed weapons are, from my experience though, maybe I have bad RNG, please don't kill me in the comments, they tend to miss. Do you want to risk missing to deal extra damage? It's not like two-handed weapons gives you an easy headshot kill. It's more safer and consistent in my experience using one-handed weapons. But like, don't sweat it. One-handed weapons are amazing. They will keep you safe. If you lose one arm, you're not defenseless. Plus, not fighting is still an option. If you lose one leg, your character can no longer dash or sprint, and can only walk. This is problematic because speed can help you avoid fights. It can help you go through areas much quicker, and without it, some monsters will outpace you and catch you and force you into a fight. It's not the end of the world though. Sometimes it is safer to walk. I've seen quite a few players accidentally dashing into monsters. Plus, by taking it slow, you can learn more about the area you're in. You might find something you missed before. I have to admit though, if I had to choose between losing an arm or a leg, I would always choose an arm because dashing and sprinting is always useful. It's too useful. So yeah, it does suck not being able to run, but you can still manage it. In addition, losing a leg isn't a common thing. You'll definitely lose your arms more often than your legs. Fun fact, if you play Fear 102 on easier mode, you will never lose your legs. So, just a little neat thing. Now comes the scary stuff. Ooh. If you lose both arms, you can no longer equip any weapons, and you are forced to use tackle. Tackle is a pathetically weak attack. You do more damage punching, I think. So yeah, this is pretty bad because your damage output is so low. You can't remove monsters' limbs, you can't kill them fast enough, they have chances to do instant death attacks, and like, it's just too dangerous. Fighting Armless is dangerous and stupid. Your best course of action is to avoid fights at all costs. What's this now? You lost both of your legs? Time to crawl through the rest of the game. Yeah, this is pretty much a run breaker. You will never be able to avoid combat if a monster sees you. You move so slow, like a snail. It's shit. Like real shit. It is possible to go through the game crawling and, you know, maybe like a challenge, but almost save you. It will take you forever. You're better off just starting a new game. Unfortunately, this isn't over yet. There's a chance you could lose both arms and legs at the same time. If this happens, you can no longer move. Eventually the game will ask if you would like to stop breathing. With no limbs, you are truly powerless. This is the end for you. So, in a nutshell, you can still be able to best the game with a missing arm and leg, but losing both arms, legs, or all of it will most likely lead to a grave end. In a sense, this game is kind of generous. You can do a ton with only one arm and one leg. Okay, that's pretty scary, but surely we can negate the consequences, right? Maybe we can protect our limbs, maybe we can bring them back, and the answer is, of course we can. Number 1, party members. By having multiple party members, the damage you take will spread out. This means that instead of one character losing both arms potentially, two characters can lose one arm each in the worst case scenario. With some equipment management, you can swap weapons between the party. Hell, if your character loses both of their arms, having a full party allows them to make up for the lost damage. It makes a huge difference. And with a full party, you can kill the monsters before they even do a thing to you. However, I must say, this doesn't apply to your legs. You lose both legs, you're gonna crawl. Your party won't carry you, just their arseholes. Number 2. There are ways to recover your limbs. I won't explain how to do it, so don't discover it for yourself. So if you really want your limbs back, find out how, and do it. Number 3. There are certain pieces of equipment that offer limb protection. To name one, arm guards will keep your arms safe. As long as you wear them, you will never lose your arms. Number 4. Avoid/escape combat. When you lose a limb, 99% of the time you will lose it during battle. The Fear and Hunger games is not your typical normal RPG. You gain no XP, you gain no levels. The drops on monsters tend to be meh or nothing. It is safer to not engage in combats at all. If you're not in combat, your limbs are safe. And yes, you can lose your limbs out of combat. Speaking of that, number 5. Learn. Knowledge is key in besting the Fear and Hunger games. You were reckless and you stepped on the bear trap? You lost a leg? That sucks, and you should be more careful. You know better now. Don't do it again, and keep your leg. You have to fight a monster, and they're wielding a weapon? Attack the limb holding that weapon first. Don't give them the chance to hack your arm off. Learn from your mistakes. Those are my tips. But I do have a final comment I want to make. The Fear and Hunger games have a theme of losing yourself. The dungeon in the first game, or the festival in the second game, are cruel and horrifying. They will always take a piece out of you when you try to go further into them. You will lose your mind. You may lose your limbs. You may die and have to start all over again. However, it takes strength to go to the bitter end. You can do it. If there is a will, there is a way. Look at Olivia, aka Best Girl according to YouTube. By the way, Marina and Samaria are Best Girl. I will drag you to hell and fight you. Just joking. Anywho, she has a condition that makes her unable to use her legs, meaning she is a character who starts with 2 limbs down, yet arguably she has the most strongest skills in the game. If she can endure the horrors and defeat the monsters, so can you. Don't be afraid, believe in yourself. Don't let your fear of Apotemnophobia consume you. You can and will overcome it. And that's the video. I hope you raiders feel a little more comfortable when engaging the Fear and Hunger games now. It is scary, and yes, I'm scared too. As a veteran player, I worry all the time about losing my limb. It's not nice when you lose one, it really isn't. However, you can best the games. Don't give up. I believe in you. See ya. Wait, if you get infected and you have no means to treat it, you have to remove your limb that's been infected. Don't get infected?